again, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MonkeyBoy Presents DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss. And today I'm very excited to bring you issue number 34, The Blue Beetle. And for those of you that aren't aware, this of course is not the most current Blue Beetle. There have actually been a total of 3 Blue Beetles. This is the second Blue Beetle. Is that confusing enough for you? The original Blue Beetle was actually named Dan Garrett, and he was not a DC character originally. So the magazine, as I said, doesn't really touch on Dan Garrett all that much. It just deals basically with this particular Blue Beetle, the second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord. So let's go ahead and get started here with the magazine, which will tell us basically everything we need to know about Ted Kord here, the second Blue Beetle. And then we'll take a look at the figure itself, covering the good, the bad, and the ugly. As I said, he's a wonderful character, really nice figure. I hope you guys enjoy this review of the DC Comics Superhero Collection by Eaglemoss, issue number 34, Blue Beetle. First up, the character section. We learn that Ted Kord was born a genius, basically. He never struggled through school, he was extremely intelligent, but like most smart kids in school, he was picked on and bullied. And he actually developed an extremely good sense of humor about it. He became the class clown. Fast forward a few years, and he's in college where he meets an archaeology professor of his named Dan Garrett. After graduation, Ted reluctantly took over the family business of Kord Omniversal Research and Development and turned it into one of Chicago's most profitable tech companies. Shortly after this, Ted discovered that his Uncle Jarvis was actually a mad scientist trying to take over the world. Ted kept his promise to Dan and became the new Blue Beetle. Unlike his predecessor, however, Ted relied on gadgets and gizmos instead of a magical scarab. Not very long after becoming the Blue Beetle, he also became a founding member of the Justice League International. It was during his time with the Justice League that he first encountered fellow hero Booster Gold, and the two grew to become extremely close friends. The next couple pages talk about his time with the Justice League, highlighting key moments in his career with them. We see him sacrificing his ship, the Flying Bug, to defeat the villain known as Carapax. It talks about a time when Blue Beetle, along with other members of the JLI, called Captain Atom's allegiance into question. Another time when he actually went toe-to-toe with Batman while under the control of the villainous Queen Bee. And also a battle that almost ended Ted's career, the day the JLI encountered Doomsday for the first time. After his miraculous recovery, we find him co-founding yet another superhero team known as Extreme Justice. Finally, we learn that he grew to become very close friends with Barbara Gordon, aka Oracle, the former Batgirl. Ted went in on his own, unable to convince anyone else that Maxwell Lord could possibly betray them, and unfortunately lost his life proving them wrong. Next up, we look at a couple of Beetle's classic storylines. First up, a story known as Maximum Eclipse. And this tale is basically a David and Goliath type of story. We find the malevolent being known as Eclipso, this near god level type of being, taking out almost all of the Justice League, save for Ted Kord, the Blue Beetle. And we get to see Ted shine in this. He uses his ingenuity, his acrobatic skill, and really his wits to outthink and outmaneuver a being far more powerful than him. It's a great, great story. Also, we have Booster Gold, Blue and Gold. And this story picks up after the events of 52, where we find Booster Gold is traveling through space and time with fellow hero Rip Hunter, and he is not dealing with the loss of his best friend Ted Kord very well, so he decides that they are going to travel back in time to stop Maxwell Lord from killing Blue Beetle, and before doing that, travels through time to recruit other Blue Beetles to the cause. He collects the original Dan Garrett Blue Beetle, he collects the current Blue Beetle Jaime Reyes, and he also collects a Blue Beetle from far off into the distant future. It's a wonderful story, beautifully illustrated, has a really, really great ending, the only way it could have ended, and it's pretty bittersweet, but a wonderful story. The next couple pages feature some of Ted's allies and enemies, and also has a great shot of the current Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes. And finally, the original thinking section continues the DC timeline with Part 25, Gathering Storms. First, we learn in 925 BC that Earth is visited by an alien race known as the Voldarians, who erect a monument here that is known as the Well of Warriors. At around the same time, we learn that Egypt is now under tyrannical rule by a malevolent sorceress the people have called Evilla. And finally, at around 850 BC, we learn the heroic Odysseus encountered an evil demigoddess known as Xerxes. And here we have the second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord. Great figure, wonderful figure. Really, really love this one. I like these sort of golden age looking heroes, honestly. I've always been a fan of Blue Beetle as well. He is kind of the ultimate idea of a hero when you think about it. Of any hero really in the DC universe, he's the most plausible one, like the one that could actually happen. There's nothing really special about him. He's just a rich guy who builds some cool gadgets and wears a costume. You know, he's Batman without the training, in a sense, really. And the figure is absolutely wonderful. I think it's a great representation. The costume is, for the most part, very, very nice. It's a nice blending of the original and the more modern interpretation of the costume. And all the little details are cool. You can see he's got these little, the little cuffs there, the cufflinks on the gloves, which is a really nice touch. I also love the fact that he has the holster for his little blaster there on the side of his hip. It's a great little touch. You know, it could have been very easy to overlook, but they put it on there. It's really, really cool. I like the pose. It's pretty cool with the fist back, and the grip on the gun there. I mean, outstanding detail on that hand. You can see his finger is on the trigger. Very well done. A couple of minor complaints with it, but I'll go into that more in just a second, with better pictures. Blue Beetle stands atop the DC logo, and on the underside of the base is his name along with serial number. And of course we have to have a shot of the blue and gold, and a nice group shot with the rest of the Justice League International. As I said before we even got into the magazine, I really love this figure. He's a great character. I was so sad to see him killed, but he died such a heroic death. I was okay with it in the end. As long as it serves the purpose, it's all good. Really love this figure too. It's just classic looking, everything about it. The good. I love the paint scheme, I love the design of the figure. Again, this costume kind of takes elements from a number of the different versions of his costume. He's had a few different interpretations. I love the gun in his hand. I love the facial detail as well. It's a great head sculpt. I love his smile. It's that wisecracking grin, his broad chin. I love that. Love that you can see the ears underneath the mask that he wears. It's a really nice touch. Also, the detailing on the gun is absolutely fantastic. All the little details on the side of it, his hand, the fact that you can see his finger on the trigger is just a great touch. Nice little details like that. The holster on the side of the hip, and I love the shades of blue. It's really great. Blue's my favorite color, so maybe that's why I'm so partial to this guy's color scheme. I also love the Beetle sort of, I guess, logo that encompasses all of his chests and around the shoulders and on his back and everything. It's a really well done, hand-painted logo of sorts. The bad, not a whole lot to complain about, honestly, with this figure. A minor thing that I'm going to nitpick is the belt that they chose. Technically, that little yellow buckle is supposed to have a Beetle logo there, but I forgive it because it would have been really hard to do. It's just a nitpick. The only other thing that I'm going to criticize is the goggles. I'm not crazy about these goggles. Like the Booster Gold figure before him, I don't understand why they couldn't have made little tiny plastic, bubble goggles like he wears so you can see the eyes underneath. And if they were going to do this, I don't understand why they didn't do the bubble goggles. They're flat. They're just like normal old sunglasses, more or less. So that's a kind of a nitpicky gripe I have, a criticism of this figure. The ugly. Nothing ugly on this guy. There's really nothing fragile about him. The weakest thing, if there is a weakest thing, is going to be that gun, but overall there's really nothing to complain about. He's really great. Really great overall. He looks wonderful with the JLI and with his buddy Booster, and welcome addition to the line overall. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Please stay tuned for a quick teaser of the next character in the line. It's a pretty bizarre one, so I hope you enjoy it. As always, I am your host, the Monkey Boy, aka Jay to his friends. Thanks for watching.